Welcome to Baba's Talk Show, recorded live in Gold Coast, Australia.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another episode of Baba's Talk Show. I'm Hussein Baba. It's today, Friday again. Time's flying. Okay, I have a special guest with me today. She's very well known in our multicultural community. She's been around, and I'm so privileged to have her with me this morning. Her name is, of course, Assalamu alaikum, sister. How are you, Nasrin?
Thank you, Hussein Baba.
Ah.
I hope you have had a good day,
Yes.
and then happy Friday,
Right,
and thanks for the opportunity.
right. The morning's just starting. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning now, just before the Jummah prayers. So, Nazreen, as you know, we know each other for a very long time,
Yeah.
and then we meet in different occasions and events. And tell me about some of your background.
Yeah, I'm originally from Iran,
Okay.
and from the city called Kashan.
Korshan.
Kashan.
Okay.
Kashan, which is almost close to the central desert of Iran, with a hot and dry summer
Okay.
and cold winter.
Cold wind. Okay.
And that city actually is famous for having the historical houses with unique architecture, and with is a tourism, one of the tourism attractions.
Okay.
In Iran, and very ancient city.
Okay.
And also what I remember and I like it, which has affected on my artworks,
Yes.
is the pomegranate trees.
All right.
There,
Okay.
and special pomegranates, sweet pomegranates from
Mm.
there. And yes, so I was not born there, but
Okay.
what I brought here as a memory from my original country
Right.
is from that city.
Okay.
And I used to go in a summer. We had a summer house
Yes.
close to that city, in a big
Right.
gardens and big house, and it was a rose flower everywhere
Oh,
in
mashallah, mashallah.
during May.
Ah.
And then we had people who came to our home and to our garden, and actually made rose water for us.
Or rose water,
So
yes.
these are some cultural gifts that
Right.
I brought with myself to Australia. So it's not because we have two suitcases. We have few suitcases, but we have a spiritual suitcase that we bring with ourselves, and cultural suitcase.
Right.
The other is physical and the daily life suitcase.
Of course.
What I brought with myself is a good memories from that city, which
Right.
as I said, has affected my character, my social character
Right.
in Australia, who
Right.
I am and what I'm doing.
So that's very interesting. You make me feel like going to the place that you mentioned, and I'm sure it is very, very attractive for tourism. Now, you mentioned about Australia, coming to Australia. Can you mention what made you come to Australia, and when did you come to Australia?
I arrived to Australia in 1990, in July 1990.
Okay.
What made me to come? It was not really my choice.
Okay.
I believe it was the destiny.
All right.
Brought me here.
Okay.
So we went to America to live there with my children and my husband.
Right.
My husband was is civil engineer, and he was running a big road construction company in Iran.
Okay.
And he couldn't join us for a life to living in America, but he came to United States for a while. I was there with my children about 7 months, and then I find that it's not a place that I want to raise my children.
Mm.
So despite my husband believed and my brother believed, my brother was there at that time, we stay in America, and they said it's wise because Iran was in war with Iraq, and then
Right.
they said it's not safe. I said, if it's not safe for other people, it's not safe for me too. So
Right.
it's I'm part of there, and I'm a very cultural person.
Right.
I really like my country, especially the landscape and the culture. So I I resisted and I went back with my children there.
Hmm.
And the war became very serious. And then not only the war, my children joined to the educational system, and I find that we had two girls that time, and
Mm.
I find that no, either Iran was not a place that I raised my children,
Mm.
especially when they grown up and they went to the educational system.
Mm.
So we decided we had opportunity to go back to America, or we go to Europe,
Mm.
Sweden, or
Mm.
France, which my husband got his second degree in France,
Right.
so he could speak French. So he said that we go to France, and I said my brother was in Australia, the Gold Coast,
Right.
and then Destiny said to me that go to Australia, go to the Gold Coast. It's a beautiful city,
Right, right.
and I am so pleased. I am so from my heart
Yes.
that I think thanks Destiny and that brought us here, because was
Right.
the best place for me to grown up my children.
Good, very good. I can understand because Gold Coast is really a beautiful city. And when I first came here 20 years ago, I really loved it. So beautiful city, and of course, a very multicultural city. Now, I can see where your influence is coming from when you talk about art and culture. Now, you are very much engaged on the Gold Coast in this cultural scene. You have performance from time to time. And what made you get involved and to start your organization? What's the name of your organization?
Gold Coast Multicultural Arts Group.
Arts Group.
And
So how did it come about?
Okay.
Yes.
My academic background
Yes.
in Australia, back
Right.
to communication,
Right.
arts and communication.
Right.
Then I get and in between two degree I work, and I got my master degree in art sociology
Okay.
from the University of Queensland.
MashaAllah.
And I'm candidate for PhD,
Right.
doctor,
Right.
and which is in the process. It's a long time for process, because
Yes.
I started to work.
Right.
Gold Coast Multicultural Arts Group was established in consultation with the Queensland government,
Right.
Arts Queensland,
Right.
when with the minister that time,
Right.
and then we established it in November 2000.
Right.
And since then, we have done a lot of work. So
Right.
it's not, when we say art, we are multi-arts group. So
Okay.
it's not only event and performing,
Right.
because the other good organizations,
Right.
they are doing also staging, the cultural celebrations,
Right.
cultural dances,
Right.
but our practicing arts in our organization
Right.
is more conceptual
Okay.
and deeper than just staging. So we have theme exhibitions,
Right.
usually group exhibition,
Right.
group exhibition, focusing on how art can help we go over the social issues,
Okay.
like mental health,
Right.
like domestic and family violence,
Right.
and not only art for pleasure.
Okay.
And also we have been active in public art,
Right.
producing public art.
Right.
Recently we were in Soil Festival, which was very proud of for all of us.
Right.
And also creative writing. We have publications, a
Right.
few publications.
Right.
And at the moment we are in a progress, very rapid progress, because we work in a creative. I work in a creative industry,
Right.
and I initiate innovative program, and in consultation with government, especially Arts Queensland and Arts and Culture of Gold Coast City Council, and we are very thankful with them.
Good.
This was the story about. So when we say arts, is not just performing.
That's what when you mention it. Normally, when you mention arts, it's usually about performance for pleasure, for entertainment. But you have a meaning behind it. For example, people with mental issues, and your perform. Now, can you give an example? How that your performance assists in this mental issue?
Okay.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Right.
Last year we had a program which was really attractive, and it was about a Bavarian dancer who over over about 5-6 sessions,
Right.
we talk about domestic and family violence,
Right.
and then how we can show domestic and family violence
Right.
with her dance.
I see.
So she mixed a few songs together, and she started from the with body movement
Right.
and body and sign language, body movement, I can say, not even sign language,
Right.
like dance, ballet. She showed that how domestic violence crushed her,
Uh-huh.
and how through arts and practicing and dancing, going up and self-empowerment, and then she started to dance with a happy music,
Uh-huh.
that I'm a woman, empowered woman now, and powerful woman, and I can go over the the issue of domestic and family violence.
I see.
So it's very much conceptual, because arts these days, the meaning of the arts has been changed. It's not just for entertainment. While I really appreciate cultural, cultural celebration on a stage that other organizations do it, I respect, I attend, and I really enjoy. Is very good for cultural awareness.
Okay.
But our program usually is more based on the avant-garde
Okay.
of art, and just focusing how we can use the tool of art, the art as a tool of communication, and how we can actually, one of the aim of us is how to affect on the policies, social policies, cultural policies of Australia and of Queensland, and
Right.
even local.
Right.
Because through the conceptual art, the people who work in the arts industry,
Right.
they know the language of arts,
Right.
and we speak through the language of arts. And the other things is we break the barriers, language barriers, especially for non-English speaking background.
Right.
So in some of our program, like I gave the example, there is no even one word. So just people are sitting, that person is performing, they know the topic is domestic and family violence,
Right.
so they can read the the concept through the movement. With creative writing is the same. We use a metaphorical language,
Right.
symbolic language,
Right.
and with other arts the same. So
Good.
we always should do research. Always, what is the gap, and always in contact with government, and say that we are based on this gap.
Right.
We are creating a new idea.
Right.
Through arts.
Good.
So the aim is that is more than local. We want actually, because these days, nowadays, technology take the distance. So people in America can see our artworks as we do research, and we search about their program. We are aware from their program.
Right.
So we affect each other.
Right.
And some of our program is actually has been received globally.
Okay, good. Now, well, that's very impressive. I must say, it's very impressive. And now, Nasrin, if we have people out there who would also like to follow what you are doing, so what would your advice be for newcomers who want to do similar things like what you are doing at the moment?
Yeah. We have experience. I talk about myself.
Yes.
I have experience as a person who was one day newcomer to this society.
Yeah.
So when people are in different stages for settlement,
Right.
when people are in a struggle stage,
Right.
We can help them.
Right.
To actually through self-expression,
Right.
they believe on themselves.
Right.
And then they get more confidence.
Right.
And then we link them to the other organization. I personally link many people to the other organization. We are like introduction for new arrived or newcomers.
Okay.
But some of them, they have talent in arts. They are talented. They stay with us, And fortunately, I can say that many of them are talented.
Yes.
Many of them. As for example, I didn't say about, when I say about Kashan, my city,
Yeah.
is a center for one of the centers for carpet, Persian carpet.
Yes. Yes.
So I grown up with those colors, with those patterns,
Yes.
and those has affected me. This is why when I'm doing painting
Yes.
or even doing the designing a performance,
Right.
I have those colors, and you know, migrants don't come with empty hands.
No, they come.
They come with a lot of cultural wealth.
That's right.
And this is why arts can help them. What we are doing,
Yes.
conceptual arts can help them to showcase their talent, and you know, to share their cultural wealth. And as we did in the recent projects we had in 2023, we did two group projects, which was really well received, and it was impressive.
Good.
That who we are. Look at us. How many colors we have.
That's right.
How much, not face color, not skin color. How colorful we are.
That's true.
How beautiful we are.
That's right.
And these colors actually cheers up.
True.
Against the, you know, all the harms, and bring us harmony and unity.
True. That's very
diversity.
important. True. That is what very important. As I mention all the time, we don't look into what the background or creed or race. We are all brothers and sisters in humanity. And through your art form, you're trying to bring people together, get an understanding. Also, pass messages, like, for example, of domestic violence. So, mashallah, that's a good arrangement. And, well, as you know, I know you're getting ready to go to overseas very soon. Inshallah, I wish you a good trip. And then, before I end the topic, I would like to mention about the message that I always preach. No matter where you come from, no matter what language you speak, no matter what your religious beliefs are, we are all brothers and sisters in humanity. Therefore, we should respect each other, extend love and care, and be compassionate to one another. So you're following the same thing.
I take my hat for you, also, Baba. And yes, if people wants to join us,
Yes.
I appreciate you put our email
Sure.
at the end of this clip, so
Right.
people can see it and they can communicate with us through that email, and
Okay.
then we answer.
Good. That means if anybody interested to work along with Sisters projects, please contact her. Her email address will be below this video. All right. Nasrin, thank you so much for coming this morning.